Hello everyone, I'm Santiago and today I'm gonna be testing the Dead Space franchise on the Steam Deck. So we got Dead Space Remake, Dead Space 2, Dead Space Original, and Dead Space 3. The ones that are marked as verified are Dead Space Remake and the Original, but we're going to talk about each individual of them. So let's get started with the Remake, shall we? Dead Space Remake, so we're using very close resolution to native. Basically, instead of 800p, it's 720p but at 16 by 10. Then a little bit of motion blur just because we're below 60. Film grain, no thanks, no dynamic resolution, and these are basically the settings. I'm not using FSR2 because it looks a little too soft in this game. We're not going to get to 60 because CPU limitation. Unfortunately, EA didn't update the game to improve the stuttering situation, so the game still has stuttering. Also, by selecting this resolution, you can change the FSR sharpness in this menu. If you go to the bottom, you can put more sharpness. In this game, 1 looks good enough. And there you go. The game looks great. And there's some body parts dangling. So what you're going to find is stutter no matter what, like on my normal PC version video, which is unfortunate. But the game runs pretty well. It's over 30 FPS, some minor drops below 30 in specific parts with a lot of dynamic lights, but generally it's completely fine. And it looks amazing. And this is almost native resolution. We're almost there. So yeah, the big deal about this one is the stuttering. It really takes you out. It's a shame, really, because the game runs surprisingly well. Although the more you play, the better it will hold up when it comes to this, the stuttering. So yeah, here we're outside, just to show you. Pretty cool. Doinks. I think I had to go the other way actually. Let me double check.
Exiting zero gravity.
But I'll probably lock it to 30 using the Steam Deck's option to do so. Oh, there we go. Alright, so that's how it looks on the with unlocked frame rates. Let's go handheld and lock the frame rate. Let's continue. Again, my advice, go here, lock it to 30. And there you go. A little bit more latency, but at least you get consistent 30s, which is always good. There will still be stutters, unfortunately, but if you already passed from certain location, it should be reduced. I don't even remember where to go. There we go. So yeah, it works great on deck. It's verified. I wish they fixed the stuttering, but with no patches since it came out, I don't have high hopes. Oh, no more. Okay, never mind. Perfect. As I was saying, it's verified, but EA didn't patch the game at all, so the stutter will still be there. Since I already traversed through this area with the deck, it's better, but still, it's going to affect you no matter what, as you can see there. Even if you have the OLED Steam Deck. Maybe on the OLED Steam Deck, The stutters are not as pronounced, but they're still there. They're very obvious. But the game still looks amazing. I'm pretty surprised on how good it looks on the smaller screen. Alright. Almost there. But this, I highly recommend it. If you don't mind those stutters, man, it's a fantastic game. Can't stress it enough. Anyway, I think it's time to jump to the original so you can see it for yourself, the comparison with this one. And yeah, let's continue with the video. The original Dead Space 2008, native resolution, full screen, VSync on. In this case, I recommend it. And in the advanced render settings, all of this enabled except in motion blur, of course. And I recommend you use Proton Experimental for this one. The one selected by Valve for some reason had bugged menus. And you might say, why lock it to 60? I want to play at 90 FPS on my OLED Steam Deck. Well, if you go above 60, the game has issues. You can do it, but it's not going to be a great experience. Let's leave it at that. But this game runs completely fine. I played it when it came out. It scared the crap out of me. Especially in parts like these.
Isaac, be careful. Shooting them in the body didn't seem to work. Go for the limbs.
That works right.
That should do the job.
It just feels weird. The controls feel weird. But the game itself still holds up. I'll still honestly play the other one, the remake, obviously. But this one runs at 60 FPS. So that to me is a big deal. And you have a lot more battery life and no stutter. Alright. I remember this, yeah.
Looks like that door is malfunctioning, Isaac. Try using the stasis module you just picked up.
There we go. Okay, save station. After playing the remake, it's so difficult to be scared in this version. It's kind of crazy. Oh, somebody's waiting for me. Oh, these are going to get up. Not you. You, maybe. Nope. Nope. So yeah, don't use unlock frame rates on this one. Not worth it. Especially the lights will flicker weirdly. That's basically the reason. So let's jump into handheld to see how it looks on the smaller screen. Alright, now in the smaller screen. And I gotta say it looks pin sharp. As far as I remember, there's no special anti-aliasing of any kind. No TAA back then. So yeah. Ah, okay, that's the one I have to... Okay, gotcha. Run, Isaac. There we go. I did it! And battery life over 3 hours. So if you lock it to 40, 30, you're going to have more battery life.
Isaac, you did it. The tram is blocking the whole system. When you get the computer online, you'll be able to call the tram from the control room. Faster the better.
Anybody else?
I can hear something crawling around out there.
Okay, enemies standing by. Whoops, wrong button. Die! Okay. So yeah, Dead Space 1, completely fine, great game. Of course, if you played the remake, this one is going to feel inferior, which is obvious. The remake improves it in every single way imaginable, which is the point. But if for a guy that got the game at the time it came out, might be worth revisiting on the smaller screen at 60 FPS and with a good battery life. So yeah, let's jump into the next one. Dead Space 2, the one that I played and enjoyed the most, now is fighting places with the remake of the first one. 800p, full screen, VSync off, because if we enable this, it will lock it to 30 for some reason. Custom render settings like this. Anti-aliasing off, this is wrong. Motion blur off, of course, and everything like this. And now basically the game has unlocked frame rates. That's probably physics being wonky, maybe? I don't know. That looked weird. The thing is, this one you can probably play at 90 Hz on your Steam Deck OLED. It's probably going to look beautiful. Lots of dark and contrasting colors in this game. So if you want to play at 90 Hz, go for it. Should be more than enough for the Steam Deck. I remember this part when I first played the game. With the audio in this game, it has such a pace to it. Yeah, I think this game is art. Hopefully they remake this one soon. The atmosphere is unmatched on this one. If we don't take into account the remake, of course. Man, I will be so excited for a remake of Dead Space 2. Let's hope EA does the Capcom route and remake the survival horror games. Alright. So as you can see, very easy to run. Not an issue at all. Especially if you're looking for 90 or 60 Hz. This game runs on a potato, basically. But that's good. But I don't know how it affects the physics, so keep that in mind. But we're at 200 FPS. So let me show you how it looks in handheld now. Now in handheld, and as you can see, it's basically 60 FPS solid, and you get like 4 hours of battery, give or take. If you are targeting 90 Hz on the OLED Steam Deck, well, metrics will be different. But it's super smooth, looks great, very sharp. And it fits the smaller screen so much better than a bigger screen. Unless you're in a small room with a huge TV or something. Yeah, no, not going to happen. So yeah, when it comes to pacing, gameplay, I think this one is the best without counting the remake. This was before EA said, let's make Dead Space 3 microtransactions. But hey, at least we have this game. Good stuff. Oh, I'm so screwed. But again, for the long battery life, makes it even better. I mean, on a Steam Deck to have around 3.5 to 4 hours of battery is out of the ordinary, but this game is pretty old, so it makes sense. And if you're willing to drop it to 40 Hz, even more battery life. Die in hell! Anyway, so that's Dead Space 2. Awesome game. I highly recommend it. Even if you didn't play the original, just play this one. It's awesome. And let's jump into Dead Space 3, the action game of the franchise. Okay, so for Dead Space 3, we have the EA launcher. It's the only title in this franchise that requires it. So be aware, sometimes you might crash on launching the game due to the EA launcher. In this case, it went right away, so let's get into the options menu. Dead Space 3, 800p, custom render settings. So we got all this. Motion blur off, of course. SMAA, there's also FXAA or no AA. I think SMAA looks pretty good, pretty sharp. Shadows on high, but you can go soft or soft high. If you're targeting 90 FPS, keep it on high. The performance difference is big, but the visual improvement I don't think is worth it, so I keep it on high. And 16 times anisotropic filtering. So again, if you have a Steam Deck OLED and want to target 90 Hz, well, you're in luck. We get lots of FPS. Let's see once we get into combat. But this game is, it doesn't feel like Dead Space at all. It has co-op, which is fun. It's a fun game overall, but it just not Dead Space. What Dead Space should be. It also introduced microtransactions. It's a game I would recommend playing if you just are looking for an action game with a few loud, trying to be jump scares, basically, or play with a friend. It controls well, but that's as much as I can praise it. It's going to explode. So yeah, I don't think it's a bad game, it's just not a good Dead Space game. It's a fine action game, in my opinion. But again, Dead Space is not supposed to be an action game. Oh. So yeah, I'm sad that this killed the Visceral Games. Oh, the guy that explodes. Yeah, not today.
These are unitologists. Why are they trying to kill us? You! They're trying to kill you! What? Get out of there and shut your trap.
Anyway, it works fantastically well, as you would expect from a game of this age. Alright, oh, of course, stairs. And hopefully, if they remake Dead Space 2, they do a complete overhaul of this one that is completely different to the original. That's just a hope of mine, to make it more survival horror.
Why are these fanatics after me? You've destroyed markers in the past. I think that makes you a direct threat to their plan.
As you can see, a lot of consumables right away. That doesn't happen in the previous games.
Ellie thinks you can stop it.
So now she's missing and they followed you here?
So yeah, I never ran out of resources in this game. That's what I'm trying to say. So yeah.
Have you seen this man? Where is he?
Boom, headshot. Oh, I have another gun. LOL. Oh. I forgot about that. Full-on gangster. Anyway, I think it's time to go into handheld. This part is great. One sec, let's go into handheld. Now in handheld, lock to 60 because we don't have an OLED Steam Deck, but you can unlock the frame rate if you want to. 3 and something hours of battery, and it's solid 60. So we cannot pass this because you die.
Then cross it.
They're unmanned transports. They don't stop.
So we gotta cross it our way.
I've still got my stasis unit. I'll slow.
So you do that. A lot of chaos. I found that so random. I did it without thinking the first time I played the game.
Oops.
I left my ass off. But again, that's not what I expect in a Dead Space game. But I like action games as well, so no big deal for me.
Norton, this isn't just a.
And as you can see again, lots of ammunition scattered all over,
Well, why tell
so you never ran out.
Why EarthGov?
Danik blames them for experimenting with the markers. Thinks it's terror trap. So you can imagine what they think of you. Have you reached the extraction site yet?
Almost there.
Okay, going up. There'll be a cutscene, so let's skip ahead. Welcome back. After the cutscene. So again, the game gives you everything you need. Do not stop playing. Whoa. You'll also notice that it's more fast-paced than Dead Space 2, which makes sense for an action game. But I love playing games from this generation on Steam Deck. They give you 6 FPS, great battery life. I mean, it can be up to 3 hours. And if you lock the frame rate, it can be 4. So yeah, what's my conclusion on the Dead Space franchise? Well, Dead Space 1 you can play it at 60. I don't recommend going over 60 because visual bugs. Then Dead Space 2, in my opinion, the best one. That one you can play at 90 Hz if you are on an OLED Steam Deck. So that's always good. Same with Dead Space 3, and on the Dead Space remake, well, you can play at 30 FPS with almost native resolution, with a mix between medium and some stuff on low, mostly medium. And the game looks great, but it has stutters. EA hasn't patched the Dead Space remake, so we're here still waiting for them to do something about it. And my hopes now are to get Dead Space 2 remake. That's all I want. But it's awesome to have these games on Steam Deck. Lots of childhood memories. And well, if you have a friend to play this with, you'll make it a better game. It's definitely a cool co-op action game, but not a horror Dead Space game. If you look at it
All dead.
thinking it's a Dead Space game, well, you're in the wrong game.
Find a way out.
Play 1, the remake and 2, or the remake and then Dead Space 2. That one's still pretty solid.
Good plan. See you on the track.
As for the Steam Deck, completely fine. Looks awesome in the smaller screen. And if you have an OLED Steam Deck, beautiful black levels. And these games are very dark. So that's perfect for the OLED screen. Lots of dark and bright lights here and there. So in my opinion, it's perfect for that. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did revisiting this franchise that I really like. We hope for a Dead Space 2 remake, and I'll see ya next time. Bye guys.